I've been on somewhat of a gamer low recently. Sometimes your fallback game just isn't enough. You spend 1,000 hours learning a game that you truly love, understanding and mastering its depth and gameplay, spending years watching it grow. But sometimes that game just is not quite enough, and sometimes it's time for something new. So when it's time for me to find something past my good old faithful Overwatch, please don't unsubscribe because I play Overwatch. One of my favorite types of games to find is one that's really easy to pick up. See, I enjoy two things in life. I enjoy feeling really good at a video game, and I enjoy killing my local wildlife. And this game has both, so I am stoked. Welcome to Day of the Shell. Day of the Shell is a turn-based tactic roguelite that has you setting out with a gun, godlike powers, and the vengeance to kill anything that moves. Now, I might be an absolute ape of a human being, but I love things when they are simple. Sometimes less is more. You don't need a mansion to have a nice house. You don't need 1,000 different options in a video game to express good gameplay. And you don't need to have 1,000 dead babies in your basement to be considered a serial killer. You just need like 3. Come on, tone it down a little bit. The core gameplay mechanic in Day of the Shell is a one-click, one-turn, turn-based tactic that leaves you with two options. You can either move or you can shoot. And unlike the 3 dead babies in my basement, the developers have done an amazing job at taking something so limited and adding so much variety around the constraint of this game mechanic. Like I said, less is more. And in a world where games are trying to give you everything in the kitchen sink, sometimes it feels like you aren't given a challenge through the constraint of the game itself. Why does Fortnite feel somewhat irrelevant even though they have every single Goku skin and Spider-Man web slinger and Darth Vader lightsaber and Terminator jetpack in the game? Well, it's kind of lost its zest. It's given you too much. There's a lack of constraint, which inherently creates a lack of creativity. Like I said, less is more, which is how I justify my wife taking half my bank account. But when you only have one click, one turn in a turn-based tactic shooter, it really makes you slow down the gameplay, and it forces you to look at the map in a more clear and objective way. Because your actions are so much more simple, they have so much more purpose. Just like how my bank account has so much more purpose after my wife took half my money. Unlike my brutal divorce, where I felt brutally set back physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, Day of the Shell has an amazing sense of progression. It has roguelike elements where you scale in the game, and roguelite elements where you scale outside of the game. If you do end up picking up this game, I would recommend getting all of the little heal options here or there. They really do stack up, and that extra heart might be what gets you through a level or not. But outside of the core gameplay, you can scale how much you get health pickups, where you can find them, how much cash you have, where you can find the cash, your weapon upgrades. There's a gunsmith. Still haven't checked him out. I haven't sniffed his pickle yet because I'm a little broke in his gunsmith currency. I think it's like Bitcoin or something. I'm not really sure. But that progression feels nice because when you start the game, you feel like you're learning, and it can be a little frustrating to not know everything. But as you scale the amount of good RNG you get in the game, you also get farther in the game. So it's like, hypothetically, if you suck butts and you don't improve at anything in life, you would still hypothetically get farther the more you play because it gives you more resources as time goes on. Just like how my wife took half my bank account. I really enjoy the gameplay because it's a lot like gambling, but way more in your favor until you miss your shots and then you get very, very, very angry. But unlike going home to an ex-wife that took half your bank account because you had a gambling problem, here the odds feel much more in your favor. When you shoot enemies, it goes off of a percentage chance, and you'll see this immediately. You'll see the big blue means I'm probably going to hit that guy, and then red will indicate I'm not going to hit that guy in a very obvious percentage. One thing that I would look out for when you keep playing is when you hover over the enemies and they shoot you back, God forbid, make it a little bit of a challenge. It'll show the percentage of the amount or percentage chance that they'll hit you back, which is really important. If you find cover, there's half cover, which probably block a shot, and full cover, which will block a shot. The percentage chance of them actually hitting you like my ex-wife did to my bank account, will drastically get lower the farther away you are. Go figure. There's also big cover, full cover that will block all shots, but all terrain is destroyable in this game, which gives you limited time. You can't just keep hiding behind things hoping that maybe you'll hit a shot as the map keeps progressing, and that is super awesome. Enemy types are very unique but easy to understand as well. You have gun guys, which engage off line of sight. You have mortar grenade guys, which are really annoying and play passively, but are pretty weak. You have melee characters, you have these big boys that throw axes, and those enemy types are just on the first level. They'll kind of change up as you progress more and more. Terrain types will alter as well to make you really think about map placement. In the game, you have a gun to shoot, and then you have elemental powers, which will be based off of all mechanics in the game. I believe there's explosions, freeze, and lightning, and they're all conditional off of part of your ability kit. So for example, lightning can chain. There's a percentage that lightning will hit if you hit an enemy. There's a power for that. There's lightning will hit if you get close enough to an enemy. There's explosions from cover, explosions from shots, freeze percentage from the amount of money you have. That's a big one. And then lastly, there's play again feathers, which let you have basically 2 turns to make an action instead of 1. That can be conditional off of either defeating an enemy or walking to where an enemy's been defeated, as well as basic shields. I love the basic shield with a shotgun combo. If you get close enough to an enemy, you could spawn a shield, then the enemy will shoot you, it does nothing, and then you can just blast their face off, just like how my ex-wife blasted half my bank account. But in this way, these powers are really enjoyable because they are very specific. I love a game that defines its gameplay through the constraints, not the enablers, right? We're not going Fortnite, we're playing really creative, well-crafted indie game. I love that damage is conditional. It's not just given. You're not just given a damage buff. You're given a damage buff based off of whether you miss an enemy, whether you've hit an injured enemy, whether you've moved a certain amount of spaces or at a certain place in the terrain. Maybe you get more damage after your ex-wife takes half your bank account. It's just, but that to me shows true creativity. These constraints conform you into playing a playstyle. Really make you think outside the box and more objectively in a game with such simple gameplay mechanics. Now, who would I recommend Day of the Shell to? Well, if you're like me and you have your base game, I'm Overwatch, please don't judge. I can't get away. I'm sorry. I figured there's worse things in life. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. But maybe that go-to game's getting a little stale. Maybe you don't want to spend all your free time playing the same things, getting a little old. Maybe there's no updates, right? This would be the perfect game. It's at like a $15 price point, and what feels really nice about it is it's really easy to pick up. It's like disc golf. If you've never played disc golf, for the love of God, play disc golf. You're throwing frisbees in the woods. It's a great time. Not a lot to be said there. You just go and you send it, compared to a game like basketball where I have to look at my hand while I'm dribbling and then everybody wonders what's wrong with me. Okay, this game is like disc golf. It is awesome. So yeah, if you enjoy this game, be sure to check it out in the Steam store. My link will be in the description below. And if you enjoy my dumb commentary about how my ex-wife took half my bank account, and if you believe me in all of my wild and fantastic stories, go ahead and do myself a favor and subscribe. Love you very much. That is about it. That's all I got. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I will see you on the next one. Toodles!